If I've learned anything from my time on YouTube, it's that people love it when you mess up a guitar. They don't. No matter how cheap or broken it is, they always get angry if you do anything other than donate it to a starving child. It doesn't matter if you save the guitar from a dump and then happen to drill a couple thousand holes in it, or if you accidentally bury a guitar in your garden for a year. People just get mad. So recently I turned a Bronco bass into a 6-string baritone guitar. It's over there in the bathtub. Linked here or here. I don't know how this works, if it's reversed or not. It's gonna be one of these two, probably. And today I'm going to do the inverse. I'm going to convert a guitar into a basso guitar or a bull fiddle. Let's do it. Now I'm looking for a guitar to make into a bass. This would piss some people off, but everything does. This is a pretty uncommon guitar, but it had a shimmed fretboard. So there's an additional Chinese fretboard glued on top of the original. The original was beechwood and the neck was bowed, so it had to be planed flat. Dare sty, these guitars are often attributed to Gaiatone because of their resemblance to some early set neck Gaiatone guitars, but based off the pickup and the overall shady quality, I'm gonna say it's more likely Xenon or Xenon. Nonetheless, these are uncommon and set neck is cool, it's more valuable. Even still, these tend to sell under $300 in good playing condition. Sometimes people ask more and they might get it. And there's a 2 pickup version in red that's pretty cool. It's a cool guitar. I like it a lot. The reason I kept it is because it's not worth selling. It's not worth enough money. You'd better off keeping it. The neck profile is almost rectangular. It's kind of like playing a 2x4, especially with the extra fretboard. But I had a second idea for a guitar to use. Want to see it? I was thinking about this idea and I was thinking about bass designs that I like. And one of my favorite bass designs of all time is the 1938 Charlie Christian pickup Gibson bass. It's a solid body and it looks like this. And so that got me on board with the idea of using a symmetrical bodied guitar. And my thought was, brace yourself, don't get too angry. This, Crucianelli. These guitars were made in Italy in the 1960s, and they are not terrible, but they're not made of premium tone woods. You can see there's a like figured maple veneer on the top here. It's probably a 3 to 5 layer plywood top. We've got a pressed plywood back that's in a gorgeous figured mahogany and some presumably plywood sides as well. It does look like we've got a rosewood fingerboard and a 3-piece maple neck, or maybe you could call it 5-piece because of those black stripes, and a slotted headstock. This, very handsome. And because it's very robustly built and not optimized for acoustic tone, perhaps it is our solution to today's problem. Now, I actually had one of these before, and the top had kind of been destroyed, so I pulled the neck and flipped the neck joint and made it into a mahogany arch top. That one had been labeled panoramic instead of crucianelli, and it had the same beautiful screen printed label, except for it said, like I said, panoramic instead of crucianelli. And it had this same pick guard, so maybe in my drawer I have a second one and we can flip it over even though it has built-in spacers. Somehow it escaped my grasp, so that just means we get to make a custom guard. Now we find out if it has tan lines. Actually, not too bad. It's too bad they screwed it in. Now you're probably thinking a base needs a long scale length. That isn't strictly true. If you saw my video on pocket bases, you'll know there are some short scale bases out there approximately the same scale length as a guitar. This is a 12 1/4 inch, so a 24.5 inch scale. And we can make that work. Do you think there's actually a truss rod in here? There is indeed. Can you see how thick that polyurethane is? That's kind of a signature of Italy in this time period. Should we see if the truss rod works? All right, this appears to be one of these prank truss rods that only pulls back the headstock. So now we've got back bow from the 3rd fret back. So we're just gonna have to live with the relief that it came with. Maybe it'll look different once it's under tension again, so we will revisit the truss rod once it's a base. Now I never really recommend cleaning up frets with the blade because it welcomes chatter, but these have all been hit with sandpaper, so they're pretty screwed already.
Our lives are passing us away.
Now, because it's not clearing the brace, this is skewing backwards. So, instant solution. Oops, not that side. Not that side. Some neodymium magnets right here. And they will allow me to clear the brace and tighten this up. These inlays are pretty terrible. I might think about replacing them. I never really liked giant dots. Now the question is, do we go square or diamond? Pretty into that. Deeper than I expected. Oopsies, a little deep there. Oh well. They do have that celluloid smell. Ooh, there's a screw under this one. Looks pretty well broken off too. Great craftsmanship there. I just noticed the amusing location of the center seam. All right, now that the unnecessary upgrade to the markers is done, all we need is a nut, tuner modification, electronics, tailpiece, and bridge. So everything that makes a guitar. Great news, I this up and it is probably not usable. Now I can either drill out this brass tailpiece blank and screw it on there. Or I can slot here, 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 and here and see if this will still work and maybe cut off this part. All right, real talk. The tailpiece situation's kind of annoying me right now, so I'm gonna move on to making a pick guard. Looks like two weird noses. Perfect. Just keeps looking dumber and dumber. Not sure exactly where I'm going with this. This would be an interesting move. This plate from a old lap steel actually matches the radius of the end of the fretboard there. This does not match. It's definitely a commitment to destroying the guitar. Here it is flipped over, but the exposed sound hole is definitely messing with my OCD. Okay, but maybe I can just embrace this happy face. Aww. All right, here comes the part where I ruin the guitar. Turns out this extra space is really handy for installing the electronics. Now at this point it's actually held on tight by the potentiometer nuts, but we can't leave these holes open. Can we? And this is the classic moment when I realize I didn't add a ground wire yet. Well, it turns out I could have just strung it through the hole from the get-go and not drilled it and ruined it. Here's another tailpiece. I do have an exact copy of the original, but rustier. And then I have this one, which kind of like matches the aesthetic of the P13. And incidentally, it uses the exact same holes. I don't love the fact that 6 holes will be exposed, but perhaps I can make 2 of the strings have octave pairs. Anyway, let's drill for a ground wire. The first 2 strings actually fit through the original pegs. Lol, I drilled out the wrong one. The core of these strings keeps breaking, whatever kind they are. They got red thread. I'm honestly perplexed by this because the pocket bases use just regular post sizes. It could just be that these strings have too rigid a core and are too old. These could be the original strings off my Mustang bass that I bought in '93. Just keeps breaking. It happened on the A2, but I managed to just keep going. Probably not stable. Haste makes waste, people. Haste makes waste. I did the spacing completely off. Obviously this string needs to be like somewhere it isn't. Pretty much exactly where it isn't. And so we're gonna have to make a new nut. And also, this thing's too rattly, so we do have to screw it to the soundboard. Look at the size of the screws for the truss rod cover. Feeling like a depressed teenage Tom Waits. I had to screw it on with a broken scalpel blade. It's a super chippy blank. All right, the A string also has to go. The gauge on this one must be a little bigger. It's vibrating off the 0 fret. So, what do you think? Did I ruin it? Well, that about does it for me, partners. Subscribe if you want to see weekly videos where I do things like this, things like that, and things like the other thing too. Thank you to Patreon patrons, channel members, and everyone who watched. Thank you kindly.
Wonders that seem to me, Jesus so gracious should be, mercy revealing, comfort and healing, blessing a sinner like me. Heart of mine could never know, Jesus such peace could bestow. Till my dear Savior show me his favor, cleanse my heart whiter than snow. Once I was full of all sin, now through the blood I am clean. Willing to save me, pardon he gave me, and I am happy with him. Long I resisted his grace, in my heart gave him no place. But Jesus saw me till he had brought me, penitent taking his face.